Live from the 607, it's the Ocho Duro Parlay Hour, where we're talking everything movies, TV, comics, and entertainment. Join in the conversation on social media with the hashtag ODPH, because here we go. Welcome to an all-new edition of the ODPH podcast. What is happening, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us this week. My name is Ken M. You know the co-host. He's right next to me. He's a statistician to the stars. He's a man of 1,008 aliases. His name is Padawan J.
Let me talk to you, coming at you faster than an O'Neal Cruz home run.
Oh, break it down for us, Pat.
Good God, if you did not see the home run derby last night, exceeded my expectations, I must say, because we didn't have the full field when we were previewing it last week. But once you got the full field, check out the highlights if you haven't seen them. The field exceeded my expectations. There was one point where the first 4 out of the 8 participants went. The lowest total between the 4 of them was 16.
Wow.
It was like 16. There was like 2 guys who had 16. One had 17. Another one had 21. It was absolutely insane. O'Neal Cruz of the Pittsburgh Pirates hit one 513 feet.
I knew he hit one long.
Yeah, he was hitting them in places they ain't often hit before, and that's only in batting practice. So check out the highlights if you ain't seen the highlights, because you know what? It wasn't bad. And know who made a special appearance during the night? Adrenaline in my soul. Something. Cody Rhodes gave out a WWE title for the home run derby title, championship title for the winner, which ended up being Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners.
Well, as we predicted last week on the show, we thought he was going to be bringing home the chip, and
yeah,
sure enough.
It was a family affair for him, too. Dad pitched, his brother caught, he hit. All his rest of his immediate family was there. It was fun to see. It
was definitely fun to see, and if you can tell by the way we're talking on the show, you are listening to a fusion edition of the ODPH podcast, the only podcast that breaks down a parlay of topics weekly with very few weeks off, I should say.
No kidding.
I mean, we're shout out to So Wizard. They have the record. They have 10 years straight without any days off. We're kind of up there around the 8-year mark. So,
hey. But
still, we're enjoying bringing you all the parlay of topics. And this week, we got a stacked show, so we'll kind of keep the intro a little short and sweet. If you're looking for blogs, if you're looking for a directory, which has friends of the show, such as 3FM Podcast, Dragon Master Games, Nerd Initiative, and many more. If you're looking for all the social media links, if you're looking for a directory pad, because how many providers are we on?
718,090.
And who's your source?
Trust me, bro.
So wherever you listen to the ODPH on, first and foremost, thank you for checking us out. It means the absolute world to us. Leave us a review on your favorite podcatcher. It helps the algorithm of the show to get more people involved in the parlay of topics. Last but certainly not least, we have a great music section that you want to have in your summer playlist with such bands as Brian Wolf and the Howlers, Second Suitor, Tom Joel of Floodlands, and Shout at the Robots. And if there's anything else that is part of the ODPH podcast, you can always find it at odphpodcast.com. And if you're still using hashtags on social media, why not use the hashtag ODPHpod? We have to kick off this edition with the show, or the topic that is on everybody's lips.
Uh-huh.
I don't think there's anybody else in sports world, pop culture. Everybody is talking about this because when a movie goes to the theaters and takes over everything, in some manner of speaking, you know everybody's sitting up and paying attention, and we have to break down what we saw. Because, Pad, what are we talking about this week?
We were talking about the latest film from DC Studios and Warner Brothers, and the latest film and the kickoff film to the new DC universe being Superman from James Gunn.
Yeah, so announced in 2022 when Peter Safran and James Gunn were named the heads of DC Studios, coming off their run at Marvel with the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, which has its own history itself.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
It's all about the new, and the new was Gunn and Safran have a vision about what they want to do with DC. We knew Creature Commandos was going to be the first animated project that came out.
Yep.
Was very well received. We knew Peacemaker, starring John Cena.
How can you see him?
Yes. Did very, very well, especially taking a C-list character and making him somewhat relevant in pop culture.
Exceeded my expectations.
But the large announcement that everybody's waiting on was Superman, that James Gunn was not delaying about swinging for the fences. You're going to have DC's franchise character, arguably the greatest superhero of all time, as the marquee, and knowing the history that's been involved with this character since the Christopher Reeves movies, to go into Brandon Routh and Superman Returns to the Snyderverse. Listen, it is what it is.
Yep.
The pop culture audience has been waiting to see about what this was going to be, and there's been so much hype behind this film. We saw the trailers. and David Cornsweet is stepping into the role of Clark Kent, a.k.a. Superman. We know this cast is a relative unknown for the most part.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of question marks about what we were going to see. So this past weekend it came out. Pad's got the numbers, so we'll break that down for you first.
So, of course, it was the #1 film at the box office domestically here in the States, grossing $125,021,735, beating out Jurassic World Rebirth at #2, F1, the movie, at #3, How to Train Your Dragon, the live-action version, at #4, and Elio at #5. For its totals thus far, it has grossed $125,021,735 million domestically. Internationally, it is at $95 million, even, for a worldwide total of $220,021,735. We should also note that it is the biggest opening weekend for a solo Superman movie ever. And this one just came out as we were starting to record. The film earned $12.9 million domestically yesterday, so that being on Monday. It's the third biggest Monday box office of 2025 so far.
Nothing but massive wins for the Man of Steel and DC Studios, which sorely needed it.
Yeah, and fans loving it. 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So what we're going to be doing is giving you our review of the film. Now, if you're new to the ODPH, once again, first and foremost, thank you for checking us out. It means the absolute world. We give you a spoiler-free statement about what we're going to be talking about, so we don't ruin anything for you. Then we give you a countdown, and then you have to be like the Clash. Do you stay or do you go? If you decide to stay, you're going to hear deep dives, you're going to hear spoilers, you're going to hear theories, you're going to hear stuff that could ruin the movie for you if you haven't seen it. So you either sit through it, get all that information, watch it, and then come back and talk to us after. Or you pause the episode at that moment because Pat puts it in the liner notes of each and every episode. So you can go, pause. That's why I always say download the episode. Watch the movie, then catch up on it, and then catch up with us on odphpodcast.com. See, I'm getting so amped up. I want to talk about this movie. It is going to be dominating this entire episode. So all that said, you know the rules now. So Pat, give me your spoiler-free statement on James Gunn's Superman.
So I had high expectations for this film. I've been a fan of Superman since the animated series debuted on television back in the mid-90s. And I've been a fan ever since. You know, I got introduced to comics and this whole medium through Batman the Animated Series, and one thing led to another, and eventually they did Superman. So I've been a huge fan of Superman in every iteration they've done. Listen, some are better than others, but I've loved them all. Anytime I get to see, you know, the big blue Boy Scout on my screen, whatever screen that is, I'm super excited for it. So going into this film, I trusted James Gunn. He's done a lot of great work in the past, and I figured, you know what? What I'd read, he sounds like a fan. It sounds like somebody who's coming in just to put their fingerprint on it and their identity on the latest iteration of the film. So I was like, you know what? I don't think this is going to be him just trying to do a film. I think this is going to be kind of a love letter, and that's what I felt like this film was. This film was a love letter from a Superman fan to comic book fans all over. It was a film I feel the world desperately needs right now with everything going on, and that's all I'm going to say about that. You know, and as for how I felt overall, it was darn near perfect. There's a couple of things that I'm like, okay, but it wasn't, you know, a deal breaker for me. It wasn't something that totally pulled me out of the movie. The only thing that ever pulled me out of the movie was when my grandmother was calling me about some information I needed to know partway through the movie. Other than that, you know, wrapped in, and for those of you, why was your phone ringing? My phone wasn't ringing. My watch was going off. Silently, might I add. So that was the only thing that pulled me out. But this film, darn near perfect. Cornsweet is an absolutely phenomenal Superman. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is as sinister as we haven't seen since, I would say, the later seasons of Smallville with Michael Rosenbaum. You go watch 10 seasons of Smallville. Early on, he ain't that bad. By the end, oh boy, he's something else. And then Lois Lane.
Rachel Brosnahan.
Rachel Brosnahan. Absolutely phenomenal in the conversation for one of, if not the best portrayals of Lois Lane we've ever seen. And almost stole the show for me, Mr. Terrific.
Yeah. This film was a love letter to fans that needed to be reminded of heroes and eternal hope. That is the one takeaway you'll have from this film. And what James Gunn did with the casting, like you alluded to, David Cornsweet, Clark Kent, Superman, Rachel Brosnahan, Lois Lane, and Nicholas Hoult, Lex Luthor, the core trinity of Superman, each one gave outstanding performances. And then you start factoring in the stories involved. And there is a lot from the comics that he borrowed.
Mm-hmm.
And you can definitely see a few that jumped right out at me. And obviously, if you know the ODPH very well, you know we talk comics here a lot. That'll be in the spoiler section. But there was a lot that I immediately saw, okay, I know where he's going here. I know where he's going there. But it worked because those stories translate to pop culture. And then when you start doing the deep dive of the appeasement to the comic fans, when he introduced more superheroes into this film. And when we started seeing the picture come together, he really gave fans something that reminded you why Superman matters. Because it is about the hope that he instills in being a symbol. And when this is driven home, this is why, as the phrase is now going around the internet, kindness is the real punk rock.
Mm-hmm.
Because what this movie did was remind you about how the quote-unquote Boy Scout superheroes can be cool.
Yeah.
And what they mean and why they're relevant to this day.
Yeah, it was a different take and it was a different feel for a superhero movie. And listen, there's nothing wrong with the Snyderverse and the way that was portrayed. There's nothing wrong with the Nolan films and the way they were portrayed. There's nothing wrong with the MCU and the way those films are portrayed. No two comics are alike in, the look and the feel and how they're drawn and how, they come across with the colors and the story. And I'm not talking issue to issue. I'm talking from, Iron Man, Invincible Iron Man to Martian Manhunter, two entirely different comics. They're different. They're in tone, feel, and look. And that's what this, because, and the thing I feel is a lot of films lately, especially since the Nolan days where those got so popular and the comic book genre really exploded, because you got to remember Iron Man was not long, or I think Iron Man was right around that same time.
Mm-hmm.
You had kind of the same cookie cutter overall look and feel to those films, where this film should have said, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, but here's a different way to do it.
Well, that's what they presented.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I liked what Gunn did. Because his vision of what he was doing with Superman nailed all the points.
Yes.
It really drove home about the relevancy, especially for a character that's been around since 1938.
Uh-huh.
This is why we all get excited seeing this movie. And if this is any indication of what he's doing with DC Studios,
I'm on board.
I think everybody's on board, Pat. I really do. So that being said, let us get into that spoiler talk. So Pat, in 3, 2, 1... take it away.
So like I said, this film was absolutely incredible, near perfect. Just a couple things that I'm like, but like I said, it wasn't a deal breaker. The story was incredible from start to finish. The battle sequences were okay. The only thing I think, and this is kind of after digesting it and gestating on it for a couple days, the only thing I think I might have changed is just kind of some of the bits in the end, because it felt like to me it almost had like a Return of the King style thing where it felt like it ended about 3-4 times before it actually did, which isn't a bad thing. It's just I felt like we were reaching the conclusion and here we go again. Here we go again. But overall, everybody was incredible. The story was fantastic. The way it was shot was incredible. The score was tremendous. And I can't wait to see what kind of nominations this gets come award time, because it might not get the big ones because, hey, it's a superhero film and those tend not to get those unless they're culturally important, but I hope this gets some nominations for the portrayals, because they were absolutely incredible.
Well, the one thing about this movie is I don't think it needs those awards to be justified. I think what you have is you have a film that connected the audience to characters that, let's face it, we're on life support as far as the moviegoers go.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not going to get into the whole deal about the Snyderverse and the legacy behind it. We have plenty of shows in the past to cover it.
Right, but the other thing, too, with that is you got to remember how many other superheroes there are right now, too.
Right. But as I was trying to say, though,
okay,
we have this moment where these characters, are reminded about why DC matters.
Yeah.
And what they really can present and what they really are, because it's not all the grittier takes that happen.
Right.
This is now a situation where we now see the brightness in this. We now see the hope, and that's the one thing that you'll hear probably a lot in this segment.
Yeah.
That the hope is driven home in this moment, and what you got out of the three core character performances is what makes Superman great. And then the side pieces really added something to the overall picture, albeit though there were some plot holes that happened that were not necessary, and ones that I don't want to say took away because they didn't, but they are noticeable and they have to be mentioned.
Yeah.
And there was one key point that Gunn kept going back to that I really thought took away from the film.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it can be overlooked. So when they eventually do a sequel or whenever we're going to see Superman next, because obviously that's probably the safest lock that we can have.
I do know Corn Sweat is signed on to do a sequel. That news dropped, I think, right before we saw the movie on Thursday.
Okay.
So he didn't say when, but he did say he is contracted to do a sequel.
Yeah. So when we see him come back, I think they're going to make some changes in that one aspect as we get into the story.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there's also now some room to grow and build on. And I think that they have a lot of momentum now heading into San Diego Comic-Con, even though they're not going to have a panel for it per se. The impact of this film will still carry over. And the one thing, though, that's going to be the coolest moment in San Diego is you're going to have fans that are excited to see Fantastic Four, and you're going to have fans that were excited to watch Superman. And seeing everybody kind of come together under the same banner is going to be kind of cool because, let's face it, when comic book movies are doing well, not just Marvel, not just DC, but everybody, we all win because then we start seeing the indie books start getting some shine. We also see some TV shows getting developed. There's a few that are coming out on streaming that we got to keep an eye out for as the months are going on. But Superman has been the big domino to fall, especially for DC and especially for ones that needed that absolute win. And where they jump into this story is we get started off with a crawl, like Star Wars.
Yep.
And this explains the gods and monsters, which this is what James Gunn is calling his phase, if you will.
Yep.
So we get the backstory, and I like how they did this because we did not get the whole plane ship coming from Krypton, planet exploding, young Clark.
Didn't need it.
Did not need it. Hit the ground running. Everything was explained about the timeline. I did not mind this fact.
No, and it opened really nice with the music and a little homage with, it was their version of the Superman theme, but it's got the little homage to the John Williams theme.
Mm-hmm.
So it hits you right with that opening couple of notes of the John Williams theme, and you're like, oh, yes, this is awesome. And you get those title sequences, and I agree with you. I mean, listen, like you said, Superman has been around since 1938. I'm pretty sure it was in issue 1 that his origin story was told and what happened.
Action Comics,
Action Comics #1 that was told right from them. So going on, 90 years since the character debuted, if you don't know Superman's origin by now, have you been living under a rock between the animated series, all of the films, all of the television shows? I'm not going to say it's been overdone, but we don't need to see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Gunn knew that, and he's very smart to appease both audiences because there's two audiences at hand, the pop culture fans and the comic fans.
And let's face it, it's been done how many times? Just at the turn of the century?
Oh, completely.
25 years?
Well, that's the whole point because it's a very key factor of Superman himself.
Sure.
But it should not be such a dominating factor in the sense of we need to see it X amount of times in every single project. So I like how he set it up because he explained it well. It was done, and then we jump right into Antarctica.
Yeah.
And Superman is recovering from a brutal defeat.
Let's call it what it is. It was an ass-kicking.
Oh, it was, because the Hammer of Boravia fought him in Metropolis and was absolutely destroying him. Now, this is over the actions that Superman stopped an invasion by Boravia, which is a political ally to the U.S. at this time, as they were trying to invade Jahanpur.
Jahanpur, I think.
Jahanpur. Yeah. Apologies for the pronunciation. But so Superman is trying to intervene there, and this plays into the Kingdom Come aspect of things. Which this also comes back later too, the great Mark Waid, Alex Ross story. Because where does Superman fit in, and where does he become an authority figure?
Yeah.
So it is a great question to pose to the audience because it's Superman. He should be allowed to do whatever he wants, but does he have the right?
Right.
That's what's posed. So the U.S. government has to kind of sort through this and make a decision about this, and is he a threat to the country itself? This is where you see Lex Luthor come in, and Nicholas Hoult just absolutely owns the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And he's selling the point about how Superman is such a dangerous weapon that, we might have to kill him because obviously you don't know what he's going to be doing. And then you take a look how he's getting involved in wars. Like, what's he,
Well, and he's selling his force.
Yeah.
His soldiers, that he's got, like, we can use these as our defense and go where we need and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, yeah, but we've got Superman around. Like, why would we need those? And Lex presents his side of the argument of like, okay, but how long can you trust him? Like, do we really know if he's on the up and up and this and that? And they're like, and I think the argument's ultimately made of like, okay, you might have a point, but it's still too expensive and there's no chance it's going to happen. So we're going to ignore you.
Mm-hmm. So this does not sit well with Lex Luthor. Obviously, though, at this time, Superman is getting healed up at the Fortress of Solitude.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of plays into a few different elements. I see a little of All-Star Superman. So
yeah.
If you're not familiar with that story, this one has a lot of influence on the film.
Uh-huh.
So when Superman is getting healed up, eventually he's coming back to Metropolis and dealing with this because the armored figure that is the Hammer of Boravia, he has to get ready for round 2. And during this, though, when he comes back, he's defeated again, but the hammer takes off.
Mm-hmm.
And we do find out a little more about the hammer as it goes on. But during this whole point, Superman's public opinion is going down. And this is where the manipulation of social media is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
This is now having an influence and really kind of painting a dark picture about Superman. And it is an investigation that is going on, shall we say, Pat?
Mm-hmm.
So during this time, though, this is where Superman is also regrouping and meeting with one Lois Lane.
Yep.
And how they set this up, Pat, I mean, let's talk about this scenario. I thought how they introduced Lois and Clark as a couple.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Oh, I did too. Listen, when you talk comic book couples, they're going to be one of the first few names you mention.
Absolutely.
It depends on where your loyalties lie, DC, Marvel, whatever. But realistically, even if you're a Marvel fan and you go list the top 5 comic book couples, Clark and Lois are going to be top 3 easily, as they should be. I like the way they did it. I like that they've known each other for a while, because we do know, based on the title crawl, that we're 3 years into Clark's public unveiling, I guess you could say.
Yes.
That Lois knows who he is. Lois is in on the secret, and that at this point they're at least trying to date. It was a nice change because let's face it, one of the other things we've seen all too often is the feeling out phase, and he's just trying to impress her while also not trying to reveal himself. And oops, she finds out his secrets, and then it's in danger of I got to keep you safe, I got to keep you protected. I like that they didn't go that route, that it was something different, and they were already established.
Yeah, and it's a great point that they bring up too, because they're dealing with a relationship, but they also go to a professional angle on this too.
Uh-huh.
Because Lois is saying about how Clark is always interviewing himself, quote unquote.
Which even I know, and I don't have a journalism degree, is ethically questionable.
Oh, it's completely ethically one. I have a journalist degree. I can tell you all about that. Completely unethical in every single fashion. So he's covering up his own secret identity for this. So maybe he really is the supervillain that Lex is talking about. This all is now coming together. So Lois does an interview with Clark about his actions with Boravia.
Because she is looking out for his best interests.
And during this, Superman gets exposed that he's not media trained.
No, and she is pulling 0 punches.
No, and I loved how they did this because Lois should not pull back. Lois is arguably the greatest reporter in all of comics.
And this one scene is what solidified me how good Rachel Brosnahan is in the role. She looks the part, and she looks great as Lois Lane. If you look at the comic iteration and what she looks like, looks just like the character. Can she pull it off on screen? Yeah, she did.
Yeah, so she absolutely makes this work. And really gives the readers I should say the readers, but the viewers, because this felt like a comic to me, something to kind of go in about. So it is a play that is, one to watch because this is really dealing with Superman's effect and how this is all coming about.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have Lex Luthor moving behind the scenes. And he is leading a group to the Fortress of Solitude.
Yep.
So we know the engineer is with him. We know that there is a character that is determined to be Ultraman at this point.
Right.
Which I have some feelings about that.
Yeah.
They track down Superman after he is saved by Crypto, his superpowered dog.
At the start of the film, yeah.
At the start of the film.
Yeah,
so
the engineer following him.
Yeah, so they track him down in Antarctica, and he breaks in.
Yep.
And winds up stealing some information out of the computers there. But most importantly, the message that Jor-El and Lara left Superman before he left Krypton.
That's the message they sent along with him in his spaceship. Lex's whole thing is he's like, listen, this guy can't be as squeaky clean as he appears. Like, nobody is this good. Nobody is this, polished. Everybody's got some sort of skeleton or skeletons in their closet. We just got to find out what his are.
Yeah.
So he breaks into the Fortress of Solitude along with Ultraman, the engineer, and his girlfriend. They
Eve Tessmacher.
Eve Tessmacher. They all get in there. And they immediately go, all right, we got to find some dirt. And they go, what's the first thing we go looking for? They go to the computer. The engineer breaks into the computer, and the first thing she finds, because presumably it was the last thing that was played on said computer, is the message. And she's hacking into the computer terminal, and she's interfacing with the controls and everything else. And she goes, oh, it's only a partial message. There should be more to it. I think I can. She goes, I think I can recover it. And then it cuts, and we don't know what was said. It just shows that, yes, she is right. There is more to the message than what we had seen a couple minutes earlier shown to Clark.
Yeah. So all the while, though, they're planning on keeping Superman distracted from coming back to the fortress. So Luthor unleashes a baby kaiju monster into Metropolis.
In the dead of night, and by sometime the next day, it is Godzilla level big.
Yeah. It's absolutely monstrous.
Like, the guys who unleash this thing, what would you say, is barely up to their knees? But by the next morning, it is several stories tall.
Yeah, which, this point, it plays into a lot of the All-Star Superman-esque villains and concepts. And like I say, this was complete Silver Age comics to me.
A little bit of Golden Age, too.
Yeah,
I've read some of the Golden Age stuff where it wasn't exactly him going against his, arch rivals every week.
Yeah, no, they definitely had some fun with this one.
Yeah.
And like I say, this plays into a lot of the Grant Morrison stuff too. So I could see where they're going. So Superman has to go stop this creature, and he does get a little help from some friends from work, shall we say?
Something like that.
Because we are introduced to the Justice Gang.
Yep.
So this
working
is
title.
Yeah, so this is Mr. Terrific, who's played by Edie Gathje. We do see that Nathan Fillion, yes, that Nathan Fillion is playing Green Lantern Guy Gardner.
Yep.
And we do see that Hawkgirl, who's played by Isabella Merced, is the first line of defense against this monster. So they are going after this creature, and they're using some different methods that we have seen.
Yeah.
Because Superman is more caring about the people around and the debris falling and more focused on that area. Meanwhile, the Justice Gang is more focused about taking that monster out by any means.
Yeah, Superman, if he can, wants to stop it, save it, study it, get it to some sort of zoo. And I'm not talking a zoo on Earth, but an extraplanetary zoo where it can live out its life in peace and comfort.
Yeah, so there's a conflict of ethics, I should say.
Yeah.
And this is something that borrows from Kingdom Come as well. So we have to remember this when we're watching this play out, because this is the clashing of styles. This is causing a little bit of a problem. So when they finally do defeat said monster, there is some minor structural damage, but Superman, ultimately, his plan saves the day. This is where you see him.
And what? There was an older woman in a car who almost got crushed right at the end of the battle that Superman comes crawling out from underneath the kaiju, and he's like, dude, seriously?
Yeah, where there was that. There was the scene that you see when
he saved the squirrel.
He saved the squirrel there, too. He also saved the one child there when all the debris is down. You see that in the commercial
I was
all
in the
time.
trailer, yeah.
Yeah, so you see that all the time. So Superman.
Meanwhile, Nathan Fillion's poking it in the eye.
Yeah. So, yeah, we see a lot of the extreme methods because they're trying to go take it out at the eyes and trying to kill it.
Yeah.
So it is one of those kind of gray areas that you're seeing the conflict of styles. But more importantly, in the aftermath, we do see that the message that Luthor stole from the Fortress of Solitude is now airing over every single broadcast channel possible.
Yep, he went on some daytime news talk show thing. That's apparently very widely viewed in this universe. And came with a message about Superman. And, hey, he might not be everything he says he is. Then they play the message, and, well, it goes about as far south as it can.
Yes, because we do see Jor-El and Lara, who, by the way, did we see who Jor-El was?
Bradley Cooper.
Yes, in a little cameo that really flew under the radar.
Yeah.
And Angela Serafin, who played Lara. They're giving the speech, and they're giving this big rah-rah empowerment speech to Superman that he's always heard when he was healing after Krypto saved him.
He's almost got like a real bright smile on his face while this part is playing.
Yeah,
and then it keeps going.
Because they're saying about how proud they are of him and how they expect
go
him.
help them, go assist them.
Yeah, go assist. And then
it flips.
This is where it goes south, and especially this one area I have a big problem with.
Sure.
So it goes from this happy speech into this, and you will go over and you will take over this world. You will have many wives and build up the army of Krypton on Earth. And they really made a point, in my opinion, to take from Invincible.
A little bit. Yeah.
I did not like this.
I wasn't a fan either, but you know what? Interpretation, it was a little bit different. It was a little something twist. I'm willing to see how it plays out. It wasn't my favorite part, that's for sure. And I was like, okay. But I'm used to them and the powers that be kind of messing with how things happen from the Smallville days. So I'm a wait and see kind of guy. If it ends up being, the status quo that, yes, that is what they wanted him to do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That's what you wanted to go with. That's what you wanted to show in this portrayal. Okay. You know what? It's your movie. It's not mine. If I get the opportunity if I ever get the opportunity to do a Superman movie, pinch me. It's not what I would go with, but hey, it's your movie.
I understand they want to take risks. I get it. But I also felt like it's too close to Invincible to do. Like, we've seen this before. It kind of was.
Sure.
I want to say a little situation was telegraphed.
Well, and I think part of it was they wanted to maybe go a little bit different than what has been seen in the past. And I don't mean that from the way the story is told, but you look at the way the story has been told in regards to how he takes the message, where they almost want to do it like they want it to be about legacy. They want you to go to Earth and be the champion and lead them forward. And yeah, they're going to stumble. Yeah, they're going to fall. Boy, I'm really quoting one of the more recent iterations, aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
They want to go that. They don't want to necessarily go about that, but this is more about family. Somewhere Vin Diesel just perked up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They want to make it more about family and more about choices.
Well, to a degree, but I think it was ultimately not the best way to go about this. I understand what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to publicly discredit Superman, but eventually they say this is the real deal, and everybody that's heard about this says it's the real deal. There's no altering of the message.
Well, yeah, because they go into he goes in hiding. He goes into a building. Public perception is done an entire 180 on him at this point. The Justice Gang goes to confront him, like you said, and they're like, and Lantern goes, "Hey, is this legit?" And he goes, "The first half is. The second half was damaged in the transit, and I never saw it." And then he goes through this whole song and dance, and he's trying to rationalize it in his head. And like you said, he's like, well, it can't be real. There's no way. And Mr. Terrific pipes up and he goes, listen, I know these computer tech guys. They're some of the best in the world. They're not going to come out publicly and say it's legit if it's not.
Yeah. So now is the problem that happens. Superman takes off back to the Fortress of Solitude. He sees it's completely destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
He also sees that Krypto,
because he figures out how he comes to a conclusion.
Well, that's the only place that they could get.
He's like, well, how did they get it? And then he puts two and two together.
So I mean, he knows exactly why they were there. He's just trying to figure out how they got in.
Yep.
He also sees that Krypto is now gone.
Yep.
So he flies back to Metropolis and does his best John Wick impersonation.
I had that same thought.
That was a little too much. I mean,
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it.
If it ended up being his dog, like it came with him in transit and whatever else, I could understand it. But as we find out later, it's not his.
No.
So why are you so pissed off about it?
That's the whole thing. And I understand he was trying to use it maybe to kind of camouflage his real reasons.
Sure.
But in this day and age, and he should be smart enough at this point too, he knows everybody's got a cell phone.
Right. Well, and
this becomes the moment that he's caught on tape losing his mind and he's screaming about a dog.
And it's broadcast as shown to the world again. So I didn't like it, but I understood it from the storytelling perspective of he's unraveling.
Oh yeah, completely.
He's completely losing his cool in the moment where he needs it the most.
Yeah. So now Luthor is celebrating because everything he's been portraying is now coming to light.
Yep.
And now there's a warrant out for him to come in.
Because at this point, the powers that be in the U.S. government go, all right, Luthor was right. We got to get this guy, and there's an arrest.
Yeah, so Superman is arrested. He comes in, and he's immediately taken into a secret location.
Yep.
Because the one thing that we see that Luthor has done, and this is Luthor to the T, he has now set up a pocket universe of his creation.
Yep.
And he's using Apocalypse boom tube technology to move throughout.
An early version of it, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we haven't seen the final version of this, but
Yeah.
trust us, this is Apocalypse 101. This is Dark Side. This is everything you're expecting.
If you've seen the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, it's not that version where they're in one place and they instantly walk to another. There's an in-between, and there's a very clear in-between. So I think we'll get to that eventually once some folks, Mr. Terrific and other smart individuals get a hold of it. But yeah, no, this is very early boom tube. And you say secret location. If memory serves, this base he goes to is like down the road or down the river from Metropolis. It ain't far from what I remember in the movie.
Well, this is where he covers up where the mother box is.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's secretive.
Right.
So, like I say, everybody knows it's an army base that he has access to, or where he's stationed, where he's working with his, Luthor forces. So, like I say, it's kind of kept off the radar, so nobody can really understand how it was there.
Yeah.
But then he's taken away into his cell, and he is literally joining anybody and everybody who has ever crossed Lex Luthor.
Well, and meanwhile, we're getting the whole scheme of Luthor's been behind everything this entire time. Mm-hmm. The online discourse against Superman, yeah, it's brainwashed or whatever monkeys that are typing on social media and creating all the hashtags.
Yep.
Which I thought was hysterical.
It was funny when they're using super shit. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that.
So we're also seeing that he is responsible for the Hammer of Baravia because it turns out to be Ultraman, who he's also using as like a video game prototype here.
Something like that.
Because he keeps calling out 1A, 3B. He's calling out fight sequences.
If he's calling out fight sequences, because I think it's explained at one point in the movie, he's been studying for him for the entire time, and he knows him better than Superman knows himself.
Yeah.
And he knows every move he's going to do before he makes it.
So he plays up to that, and then all the while, Clark is gone in real time. So Lois is now searching for him and using her reporter skills to investigate.
And her contacts.
Yeah, she's making some rounds to the contacts, but one turns out to be more vital than everybody else.
Uh-huh.
And that turns out to be Jimmy Olsen, who's played by Skylar Gisondo.
Great portrayal.
Yeah.
I normally don't really care for Jimmy Olsen. It's nothing against the guy. But, yeah, he's always usually a background character, you know. Love the portrayal in this, and I know they're talking possibility he might get his own series on HBO.
We'll
Max.
talk about that at the end of the segment because I got some thoughts on that too. But yeah, we do find out that Jimmy apparently is the infatuation of one Eva Tessmacher.
Somehow,
some way,
dude's got Steph Curry range clutch gene here.
Yeah,
good grief.
Eve cannot stay away from Jimmy.
No. And
is literally willing to give him every kind of information when he even risks getting her in trouble to go find out what happened to Superman because he knows.
Yeah, and Lois knows there's some sort of connection to Luthor, but she can't find out what it is. And she's ready to go to a bank because there's a money connection between Luthor and Baravia, and something's not adding up because it was like X million or X billion, whatever the dollar amount was, that they sent to the country, but they only paid in a lesser amount. So she's going to go to the bank. And that's when Jimmy goes, oh, okay. And he hits up Eve, or his contact. We don't know it's Eve at this point.
No, her phone name is Mutant Toes.
Mutant Toes, which, okay.
Wow.
Says all you need to know about how he feels about her.
Yeah.
He hits her up, and she's like, oh, yeah, he's in a pocket universe. And he goes, oh, yeah, here's where he is.
Yeah, so they get the information where they need to go about this. So Lois goes pleading with the Justice Gang to go help her.
Goes to the Hall of Justice.
Yes. So this is now established, much like we've seen in the Super Friends cartoon and throughout time. So
loved it.
Yeah. So this is what is owned by Maxwell Lord.
Yep.
Who we know is Sean Gunn in the new DCU.
Which again, I love the running joke throughout this movie. Green Lantern calls them the Justice Gang. Yeah. The other two are like, that's not our name. And Green Lantern is like, listen, I'm the tiebreaker vote. What I say goes. And I'm like, do you not know how math works?
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing that Guy Gardner is in the comics. He's the absolute jerk. He is a horrible, horrible teammate. He's a great hero, though. So Nathan Fillion, he hammed it up. I will say this, though, if I have to be critical about something.
Sure.
He wasn't that much of an asshole.
No, I was expecting more.
I was expecting more, too. I want to say I was a little disappointed.
Apparently, we're going to get more of that in the Green Lantern show.
Oh, I can imagine.
Apparently, he's going to be a real prick.
Oh, they're going to go full tilt with that. Yeah, no question about that. Once they get Hal and Jon Stewart involved, it's game over there.
Yeah.
But in this interpretation, though, I thought he was kind of a little more laid back. Hawkgirl has kind of been more reserved.
Yeah.
And more into the warrior ways that we've seen her on the show. So she's not exactly feeling obligated to go help Superman, is kind of fighting back. But
she's kind of more of a why should we?
Yeah. But Lois does get some help from Mr. Terrific.
After she's ready to walk out and just do it herself.
Yeah, because he's got his own reservations too.
But he's interested to see what's going on because he's like, I will admit something's going on and you've piqued my interest.
Yeah, so I think he was just trying to cover up because he didn't want to say like I'm breaking rank from the Justice Gang.
Well, and now that I think about it, he also wanted to prove Guy Gardner wrong.
Yeah, it was also to get at Guy.
He's like, I just want to prove him wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and in a weird sense, it was like The Boys. Or in a weird sense, like I say, without all the nudity, gore, and everything, this team is not exactly happy to work with each other.
No,
and you can tell. So they take off to Luthor's base, and Mr. Terrific has one of the best fight scenes you have ever seen in a comic movie.
Fantastic.
Which I feel very bad for the gentleman who played him on Arrow.
Yeah.
Everybody has now forgotten about your performance.
It was good for what it was.
Yeah.
It ain't the best portrayal.
No, this one in mere moments completely shattered everything. So we do see that Mr. Terrific and Lois make it onto the island.
Yep.
They go through the portal because they realize what Luthor has done. This is where Mr. Terrific breaks everything down.
Well, and we find out from the scene at the Hall of Justice, there are nanites or some sort of miniature robots in Superman's bloodstream, and he can track him.
Yeah.
And he went to this base, and he disappeared, so that's how they figure out where the base is. And he uses his technology to, like, 3D hologram where he was walking. He's like, yep, he's up, and went into that tent.
Yeah. So it is a very cool sequence of events. They wind up opening the tent to get him out. But this is where Luthor's ego
gets the better of him.
Because he is obsessed with taking out Superman. He puts him in a cage with Metamorpho, who we all know and love from the DC Comics. I mean, I'm super excited to see that we have Rex Mason in here.
Love to see him get some shine.
Yeah, so Anthony Carrigan is playing him. And like I say, to see this come across on screen, I was curious how they were going to do this.
As a Superman fan, there are more characters in his rogues gallery than Luthor and Doomsday.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
Well, you know they're going to slow roll it out. Metamorpho isn't. Metamorpho is like on that Martian Manhunter level.
Yeah.
Like you put him on any team and he is like the heart and soul of it.
Yeah.
And I always know him from Batman and the Outsiders. So I was very excited to see him come in on this one. But Luthor is now blackmailing him to make himself kryptonite and slowly poison Superman.
Yep.
Because he's now holding Superman or Metamorpho's son, Joe, as hostage.
Well, and he knows the cage can't hold Superman, but the kryptonite can.
Yeah. So all the while, Luthor brings in a citizen from Metropolis who is one of Superman's biggest fans.
Right, that we saw back at the Battle of the Kaiju.
Yes. Who has been defending him since day one. I mean, obviously, since even with the Hammer of Baravia, he was defending him.
Yeah.
So Malik Ali, who is played by Dinesh Tharyagan, did a great job in this role because he represented obviously what the world is seeing in Superman this entire time. And Luthor plays a very twisted game with him.
Yeah.
Because he wants to guilt Clark into giving him information, giving him what he wants.
Right.
And it's just an ego thing to Luthor.
And there was an interesting setup with this character that you might have missed from earlier in the movie unless you were super paying attention. And I caught it, and I was like, what is happening? So there's the battle scene with the kaiju. He gets his butt kicked, comes back up, and the guy's helping him and whatever else. Superman goes and takes off to go return to the battle. And the guy stands up and looks and watches Superman and turns toward this drone camera thing, and you see his face get scanned. And a whole thing pops up like a facial recognition, like name, address, birth, date of birth, and all this. And I caught this. I'm like, why are they scanning his face and getting all of his information? Now we know.
Yeah. So this is all a ploy to get at Superman.
And Luthor's planning.
Yeah, and Luthor's planning. He does have a gun. He's playing literally roulette with him. And winds up shooting him in the head with the second bullet.
On the second bullet. And he's like, wow, that was quick.
Yeah. So Superman's one of his biggest supporters is gone.
And he's distraught as can be. Luthor's elated as can be. And Luthor leaves with the caveat of, hey, I'm going to go find somebody else you care about and bring him back. Maybe I'll even bring back that reporter you talk to all the time, Clark Kent.
Yeah. So all this time, you see Metamorpho react.
Is horrified.
He's absolutely horrified.
He's like, this ain't what I signed up for.
Yeah, he's like, I just want my son back. He's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And Superman's basically telling him, like,
I can help you.
I can help.
It's the second time he's told him, but he's like, no, you can't do it. He told me he'd kill my son if I did anything to help you.
Yeah. So then Metamorpho ultimately comes around and says, can you break the glass and get to him before he gets back? He goes, I would if I had yellow sun.
Well, he tries to. He tries to stand up, but he's been out of the sun for so long, and he's been so drained by what ends up we finding out being kryptonite poisoning.
Well, yeah, because he makes a hand in a kryptonite.
Right. He's been exposed to kryptonite for so long, his power is gone, and he's basically average Joe. So he's like, oh, I need the sun, but the problem is they're in a pocket dimension with no yellow sun. But what can Metamorpho do? He can create anything on the periodic table, or not on the periodic table in the case of kryptonite, in his hands. So he starts mixing together all the necessary chemical ingredients you need to make the sun, and he makes a mini sun that instantly repowers Clark.
Yeah, it's a wild scene, but it works because that's when you see Superman bust through and immediately flies and knocks the sugar cookies out of the guy that's holding hostage of young Joe, Metamorpho's son.
All the meanwhile, the folks surrounding Clark's cell are screaming, hey, he's doing something. They're doing something they shouldn't be, because they think they'll get something out of it by ratting on him.
Well, I mean, at this stage, I mean, what do they have to lose?
Yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, that's the whole point, because Luthor has built a super prison and nobody knows where anybody is. They're all trapped in this pocket dimension.
Yep.
They all can't get free. So it makes perfect sense. So Superman makes the escape. So him, Metamorpho, and Joe take off, but Superman has to fly and go find Crypto because Crypto is here. And then he frees him, and then they're kind of on this big space escape to get out of the pocket dimension to get back to Mr. Terrific and Lois,
who are looking for them all this time. Terrific has sent his little drones into the dimension looking for him because he's like, I can't fly, or he can fly, but he needs these drones to also look. So they're kind of just standing by the front door, as it were, looking for him.
Yeah. So it does work to help out, albeit though, I thought this scene went on too long.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's the only thing because, if Superman falls in the water, it's all basically antimatter.
And anti-protons or something, yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy combination. It's supposed to kill him on sight, but he's Superman so he can survive. And he's literally holding the baby up while he's drowning. It's a wild sequence.
He's fine. He knows the baby.
He's fine, but stinking Crypto.
Yeah.
The dog is like unhinged and is like trying to attack everybody in sight.
Yeah.
And even like he's blocking their escape to get out.
The dog's being a dog.
Yeah, which I mean, I understand, but Crypto gets so much screen time in this film at key points. It does take away from it. But they do wind up eventually, after this scene felt it went on too long because of Crypto.
Couple minutes, yeah.
They finally get the escape, so they're free. Metamorpho takes off with a gratitude of thanks, so him and his son are safe.
Yep.
Superman is too weak. He needs a place to go. He
Yep.
goes back to the only place that it's home, and that's Smallville.
Yep.
So we do meet his parents.
Yes.
So this is a question I've talked to a few fans on the DMs. Pat, I'm curious, what was your interpretation or what your opinion of the Kents?
So we should note Ma Kent was played by Neva Howell, who is most known for, I'm looking on her IMDb page, Run the Race in 2018, Greedy People in 2024, and Ghosts of the Ozarks in 2021. And Pa Kent was played by Pruitt Taylor Vince, who is best known for was in Identity in 2003, was in the Constantine movie in 2005, and was in Angel Heart in 1987. You know what? I liked it. You know, I will say this. I'm happy Jonathan was alive because I understand for story purposes why they do it. I know they did it for Smallville.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole thing with why they did it. Somebody needed to die. He saved, I'm spoiling something, but it's been 10 years at this point.
Yeah, if it's over 10 years, we don't need to give the warning.
Deal with it. You know, initially it was Lana who died. Clark saved her. So, of course, somebody needs to die. So they killed Jonathan. I know they did it in Man of Steel, but I like it better when Jonathan's alive. So I like that Jonathan was alive. As for, you know, the actor and actress who portrayed them, I liked it. You know what? It was something different. It wasn't what we're used to. You know, my gold standard for Jonathan and Martha has been Annette O'Toole and Bo Kent, as I like to call him, from Smallville. But you know what? I think they're still my favorite, but we don't get much screen time with the Kents in this film. So, you know, if we see more, the ranking might change. But right now, I really like them.
I thought they did okay, but the only thing I didn't like is they made them very too country.
Sure.
Like, too small town. Like, they didn't understand technology.
Sure.
And, like, I thought that was a bit of a reach. Now, am I saying the performances are bad? No. But
I agree with you on that one.
I was not a fan of how they portrayed
the
them.
whole speakerphone thing, yeah.
Yeah, the speakerphone thing was a little much. But
yeah,
they also go back to now where Lois is meeting them for the first time. They're conversing about Clark because we know Clark now needs to rest. And Mr. Terrific said give him a day or two.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah, so
I did like how kind of unsure they were. Because in previous iterations, we might have seen something like this happening. Like, oh, yeah, he'll be fine. Just let him sleep it off. But they show up with Clark at the farm, and their both first reaction is he going to be okay?
Yeah.
Because they don't know. And I did like that.
No, I like that. Like I said, I like the reactions, but I just saying I did not like how they were portrayed. I thought we've seen enough of them throughout the year. I'm not saying they need to be technological gurus,
right?
But I thought that they were really just too small town. And,
sure.
And I understand what Gunn was trying to go with.
Sure.
I just don't think it was necessary or hit the mark.
Sure.
But it does lead to a very powerful speech between Jonathan and Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the moments where, Clark is having the self-doubt because of the speech that the Kryptonian parents left him. Mm-hmm. And John reassures him, like, you need to find your own path. Your own path. And I'm proud of you. And that's the only thing that matters is we're proud of you. We love you. That is, and the world loves you too. And this is why you need to come back and you need to fight.
Mm-hmm.
So during this point too, Luthor is on the bit of the defensive because obviously his schemes and his treatment of one Eve Tessmacher has now forced her hand. She has now tipped off Jimmy Olsen with photos because she takes selfies all over the place. And during this time, she is now sending him all the photographic evidence needed to take down Luthor.
Because Jimmy wants to bring down Luthor. She's skeptical because of what he could do to her. She's seen what he did to all of his opponents. You know, but the other thing we should know too is at this point, Luthor has found out Superman's escaped.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, he's always got a plan. He's always got to know where he's going to be. So what's his plan? He takes, the portal into the pocket dimension from the military base and turns it on when it shouldn't be. They know something. They know Luthor's scientists know something's wrong with it. Like, we can't do it. Something will go wrong. It could rip a hole in the fabric of reality. Blah, blah, blah. He goes, no, don't care. Gonna do it. Because this way I'll know where Superman is.
It's such a Luthor move.
Oh, 110%. Like, it's even one thing we didn't mention when Mr. Terrific and Lois show up to the base and they see the thing. He goes, Mr. Terrific basically goes, no, this is Luthor Science 101. It makes no sense and you shouldn't do it, but he did it anyway.
I love that line too.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah, which, listen, if we're foreshadowing those two going at it, give it to me.
I'm all right with it.
Give it to me.
I'm all right with it. But so, yeah, Luthor turned the portal back on and it's now, as the one scientist said, ripping a hole in the fabric of Metropolis.
Yeah, because it's too powerful in this way. You should never mess with stuff like this. So it does cause a bit of a problem, which Mr. Terrific has to kind of see what's going on because obviously he has to try coming up with an idea about saving Metropolis. All the while, though, the deal that was cut between Luthor and Baravia is now coming to fruition because Luthor has been supplying them with money or with weapons for very little money.
Yep.
And they're now planning on going back and finish what they started.
Because they think Superman is still trapped in the pocket dimension and can't stop them.
Yeah. But Superman's out of commission, but he still needs to kind of sort through and do what he's going to do.
Yep.
So this now throws a very, very big problem on Superman's hand because
he's got to make a choice.
He's got to make a choice. And the deal is he wants to go help the people of the country getting attacked, which it makes sense.
Yeah,
like I say,
it's Superman.
It's Superman 101.
Yeah.
But he knows Metropolis is in danger too, and he can't be at two places at once. And this is where they set up, and I really loved how they did this scene too. Because as you start seeing the fight between Baravia and
Johanpur.
Thank you. You see the people of Johanpur are rallying together. They don't have weapons to fight.
It's a David versus Goliath in that they've got some guns and they've got some automatic rifles and whatever else. But then you've got Baravia, who's got like top of the line military equipment, tanks and drones and missiles and rocket launchers and everything else that it's like, there's no, like, I think even one of the news reporters who's covering the thing says, yeah, there's very little, Johanpur can do to stand to Baravia, and it's only a matter of time before their government falls.
Yeah. So you do see the young boy raise the flag of Superman. This hits you right in the feels.
One of the best parts of the movie.
I was going to say, this did not hit you. Check your pulse.
You ain't got a heart.
My God, I was sitting there going, oh, man. Because he just starts chanting Superman because he is utilizing the S as a symbol of hope. And it's rallying the people of the country. And if somebody said, oh, well, that doesn't make sense, you don't understand Superman then. Anytime somebody sees that simple, it is to remind them of hope.
Yep.
So to see that pop up in that moment, huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
So as we see, though, the Baravian forces are making their play to attack, but they are stopped.
The kid even holding the flag has dropped the flag because he's got a soldier standing in front of him ready to attack.
But he gets dealt with by who, Pad?
That would be the Justice Gang.
Yes.
Green Lantern and Hawkgirl, along with maybe the newest member?
Oh, yeah, easily.
Don't know? Question mark? Metamorpho.
Yeah, so they come in and absolutely decimate house. And this is one of those moments like you have to applaud. You got to get excited about.
Yeah.
The only thing I did not like about this, and I did not mention this earlier because I'm trying to block this out as much as I can.
Okay.
Every time Hawkgirl was flying,
there
was a hawk screech.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I don't quite get it, but hey, there is as Gunn. There's probably an iteration somewhere where she did that.
Yeah, or he was trying to be funny with it, which it
could
is
be.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Not anything that's a game changer or game breaker, I should say.
I mean, I can remember there being times in the Justice League animated series where like she did yell when she was going to attack, like
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a scream.
No,
or a screech.
This was a hawk screech.
Yeah.
And it got very, very old quick. But she makes a move during this.
Yeah.
That we go back to that Kingdom Come philosophy. She winds up tracking down the dictator of Baravia,
right?
The president.
At this point, the Baravian forces are withdrawing because they're like, crap, we were told there weren't going to be any metahuman individuals, and there are metahuman individuals. We're not ready for this.
Yeah.
She goes to the house or whatever, wherever he lives. The president of Baravia is trying to escape. She dispatches with his security very quickly and then picks him up and flies out a window. And he says, "Ha! I know you're Superman, and you're not going to drop me," because he wouldn't. And she does one of the best lines of the movie. Looks at him and goes, "I'm not Superman. and drops him
Mm-hmm.
from a very tall height.
Yes, and kills him.
Uh-huh.
There's no question about this. Nobody came in and saved him the day.
Nope.
Which I will say fits Hawkgirl
Yep.
completely.
Yep.
I mean, because with the alien race that she's from,
Yeah.
they do business a little differently.
Yeah, the Thanagarians don't play around.
Uh-huh. So this made perfect sense. And I like the fact that Gunn went here.
Yeah.
Because you don't want everybody, like Superman is the inspiration of hope, but not everybody on the superheroes are buying in yet.
Right.
We've seen this with the Justice Gang because they're very much keeping an arm's length distance from buying in or taking him as the leader.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where the moment plays out, and it's kind of a very, very interesting setup.
Yeah.
Because now that's going to be some ramifications that they have to deal with eventually,
Mm-hmm.
wherever that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you also now have Superman, who's now made the choice to go save Metropolis.
Yep.
Because
The rift is now tearing through Metropolis.
yeah, the rift is now the larger problem at hand. And plus, I think he was tipped off that the Justice Gang has got.
Well, and I got the inclination he put the call in.
Oh, I'm sure he did, or Lois did. One
that
of
could
the
be.
two. I don't doubt Lois working behind the scenes about this
Could
one.
be.
Because I mean, obviously, Mr. Terrific knows about the situation, and if he's smart enough too to go, hey, I need Superman here, in
Yeah.
Metropolis. You two are going out there and grab Metamorpho while you're at it.
Yeah.
So he starts making his way to Metropolis, and then during here, we see the fight that we've been waiting to see. We've seen the tease on the commercials all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The Engineer and Ultraman is now fighting
Yep.
Superman, and we see him through the baseball park and what such.
Yep.
And during this fight too, like I say, first he had the armor, he got rid of the armor too, so we do know Ultraman was behind the Hammer of Baravia the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, Lex is in his office suite slash ship.
Escape pod.
Yeah, calling plays out left and right
Yep.
because he knows how to defeat Superman.
Yep.
And during this entire time, we see the fight go on. And this is where I thought this is an interesting but yet confusing moment.
Okay.
This is where we see the Engineer flood Superman's lungs with the techno nanites that she possesses.
Yes.
And then Superman is supposed to not be able to use his lungs,
Mm-hmm.
but he takes everybody up into space.
Yeah. High
And-
enough that he starts freezing.
Yeah, so he immediately slams her back down, takes her out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he kills her, but I think it's enough to.
No.
She's subdued.
Yeah, no, she doesn't die because she says as they're falling, if I hold on to him, I won't survive this. And Luthor yells, "Let go!" And she let goes at like the last possible second because after all three of them hit the ground, one of Luthor's drones flies in, and one of the scientists, henchmen, whatever, that are in the room with Luthor, there's no heat signature, but they go for night vision and they find her. There's a very faint pulse,
Okay.
so she's not dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that Gunn was not going Man of Steel Zod
No.
killing here, but we do see that Superman has to throw up the nanites in his lung.
Mhm. There's a lot.
Yeah, well,
That was slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was a little grotesque, but it is what it is. It made sense for the
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Not a huge issue.
Yeah.
But now we see that Ultraman has now been unmasked because the entire time he's had a Snake Eyes-esque suit on him.
Yep.
And I will say I was a little disappointed in this, even though we had an idea it was going to be this.
Right, because they got into the Fortress of Solitude somehow, which should have been impossible because you needed Clark's DNA or Kryptonian DNA to get in there.
Mm-hmm. So we do find out that Ultraman is actually a clone of Superman.
And as Luthor said, he dug around enough battle scenes until he found some DNA from Clark.
Yeah, so he put together his own Superman that's controlled by him.
But it ain't as good.
No, it's definitely not as good.
No.
So, but this does open up some doors if they want to go back down this in other shows.
Some dude named Connor Kent.
Connor Kent comes to mind. Bizarro comes to
Ooh,
mind.
I didn't even think of that one.
Because that's who I think it was. Because Luthor says this one's a dumber version of you.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even put that together.
So
Oh.
he says, to kind of paraphrase a little bit.
Yeah.
So they get into this crazy.
He's not as sharp.
Yeah, he's not as sharp. He makes a comment like that, and I'm like, and the amount of damage that Ultraman is taking in this fight.
Yeah. He's getting his butt kicked.
Yeah, like I say, they're going back and forth. The fight's incredible for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
No question about that. And Superman ultimately traps Ultraman inside the bus that's going into the black hole.
Well, because he finally figures out somehow how Luthor's been kicking his butt the entire time, and it's the drones because
Yes.
he's you're watching the fight. So then he goes Crypto, fetch.
Yeah, because the dog is showing up again.
The dog is showing up. He goes Crypto, fetch, and Crypto goes around catching all of the drones. There's like 10 or 15 of them. I forget. It was drones A through like G or H or something like that, and Crypto destroys them all, and he keeps destroying them. Luthor goes from one monitor to the next trying to call out plays, but eventually Crypto destroys them all, and all of a sudden it's the clone versus the original version, and well, we know how that goes.
Yeah. So it's a wild sequence of events, but it works. Even though, like I said, Crypto here again.
Yeah.
Eventually we need to stop with Crypto. We get the fight is taken care of. Ultraman is now taken out because he's trapped in the rift. We see Superman and Mr. Terrific are now stopping the rift because they had to go into Luthor's ship.
Yeah.
All the while,
The one scientist is like, I can help you close it. And he's like, please, I'm Mr. Terrific.
I love that line too.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Terrific is one of the smartest beings in the entire DCU. He does not need any help from anybody. So he's going in there. Superman is having the face off with Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Albeit though, I was expecting something to happen with the cinematography here.
Okay.
And I mean, the cinematography, I know we didn't really get into a lot about, but it was amazing the entire time.
Top notch.
Superman's fight sequences with the kaiju, amazing.
Woo.
Like everything they did as far as him flying was perfect. However, when they set up the camera angle in the ship,
Yeah.
he was right by the door that was the mother box. And I was waiting for that to get kicked open and him to get shoved into the pocket dimension. Now, I understand why they didn't do it because obviously it's the end of the film finally.
Yeah.
But I was like, that camera angle is kind of odd. But this is also where you see Luthor is having the breakdown, and it's now been exposed because in another ship, because
I think they're back in Mr. Terrific ship.
yeah, Lois Lane has rescued some of the members of the Daily Planet on evacuation because Metropolis has been ripped in half.
Yep.
And this is where Jimmy Olsen's story comes to life, and Perry White's ready to run with it.
Yeah, they present all this stuff to Perry, and he's like, all right, start typing it.
Yep.
She, as Lois is flying, she tells Jimmy what to type, and Perry reads it over, goes, all right, publish.
Yep.
And she publishes it, and in the middle of all of this going on, the news stations start picking up on the story so that when the fight is finally over, Mr. Terrific and Superman are confronting Lex. The news is breaking, and he just absolutely loses it because he's now lost everything.
Yeah. So it is an intense ending, but it's one that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Luthor is taken away.
Yep.
And now the pocket dimension Terrific has worked out to free everybody. So now you're seeing everybody that was in the cages released.
Yep.
Including Eve, who I was surprised because when she was caught texting Jimmy Olsen, she wasn't killed.
I thought she was dead, and I even said to myself, I'm like, well, that's the end of that headache for him.
Yeah.
And then she comes running out of the thing yelling Jimmy's name, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Poor Jimmy.
And then there's a quiet moment between Clark and Lois away.
Ms. Lane, would you like to conduct an interview? And she's like, oh yeah, let's go do it over here. And Perry's no idiot. Perry's like, all right, how long they been dating?
Yeah, that's Jimmy.
And Jimmy's like, probably about 3 months.
Yeah, so everybody's onto the secret and it works. But I mean, they have the great moment flying away where they're finally admitting they love each other, and it's a perfect superhero ending.
Yeah.
However, there is a little bit more of a bonus scene here. I call this a bonus scene. The other two bonus scenes, listen, I'll kill the lead right now. They're not really bonus scenes.
No, it doesn't really set anything up.
Yeah, there's nothing. They're fun moments. They're like shawarma scenes.
Yeah, I mean the one is a nice kind of bookend to a comic book.
Yeah,
you know, with him sitting on the moon with Crypto. Mm-hmm. It's nice.
Yeah, but where we get this felt like the bonus scene is he goes back to the Fortress of Solitude to go get healed up, rebuilding the robots that were smashed there.
Yep.
And we find out that he gets paid a visit from a family member.
Uh-huh.
So we are now introduced to Kara Zor-El, played by Millie Alcock.
Yep, who we find out is the owner of Crypto.
Yes. And she comes in a little in good spirits.
I'll say she's the teenager who's been out partying too late and isn't being real quiet when the parents are asleep.
Yeah, so I know there was some online chatter about this version. And I
thought it was good.
I'm going to say this. Let the story play out.
Yeah, I think we found out how Lobo's getting introduced.
Exactly. I said that in my review for Nerd Initiative. I'm like, well.
Because it's brought up in this scene that how she's a partier and she likes to drink and she likes to go to planets with red sun because normally under yellow suns, alcohol doesn't affect them. we know Lobo likes to party, so something tells me when she goes to party, she's going to party on the wrong planet and knock over the wrong drink.
Yep.
And there's a certain Jason Momoa who's going to be standing there looking like Lobo, ready to fight her.
Yep, it's going to be an amazing scene.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is going to be, if you haven't picked up that book, you need to go check that. Because that's where they're basing the film off of. Mm-hmm. But it ends, though, with Superman going back to his healing station. Mm-hmm. And he is reminded, because they did play this earlier when he used to go get healed up.
Would you like the footage of your parents?
Yeah, would you like the footage of your parents?
And at first I thought it was going to be his Kryptonian parents. I'm like, I don't know if you want to do that right now.
Yeah.
But it's not the Kryptonian parents.
No, it's the Kents.
It's footage of his childhood.
Yep.
It's the home movies.
Yep, and playing to the sound of the punk rock band that he was a big fan of, that Lois was ripping on. But,
yeah.
But the smile on his face, it says it all, and that's literally how it ends.
Yeah.
So a lot to process here. I mean, the performance is on point. This is a classic comic book movie, right down to, the little details. A few moments, though, I mean, that really stand out to take away a little bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, the amount of crypto used in key points. I don't mind it. I don't mind crypto as a character here.
Sure.
But I think, we look at the key moments of this story, Fortress of Solitude, the Inner Pocket Dimension, and then is the reason Superman defeats
Lex in the end,
yeah. A little much for a side character.
Well,
to be on that level.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of have a little problem with. And then, like I say, I was not a fan of the Kent's portrayal, but I'm not mad about it. Like I say, there's nothing about this film I'm mad about. If I take any points away, it's little stuff, but it's not perfect. But
it's not game breaking.
No, it's not game breaking by any means, because the one thing that this did is it left the feeling of the Boy Scout era coming back.
Yeah.
Like, this is why Superman matters. And I know with fans that don't read comics, and I've been talking with online, everybody said, this is why Superman's cool, huh? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he inspires hope.
Yep.
And especially in these times, which, let's face it,
could use some.
We live in very, very unique times. The fact that this was a little inspiration, it could not have came at a better time.
Yeah. This
is an easy 9 out of 10 for me.
For me, I'd say 9.5. It is.
Okay.
It is damn near perfect. There was no point in this movie where, like I said, I was pulled out of this movie. Like I said, the only time was when my watch was vibrating on my arm because my grandmother was calling me. But this was one that I didn't want it to end. I wanted to see where it went next. This is that binge-worthy TV show that you get to the end and you're like, holy cow, I got to see what happens next. You go to hit play. I love the portrayal. I loved everything about it. I can't wait to see where they go from here. It's got me excited for a Supergirl movie, which I like the character. It's not high on my list of things that I wanted to go see before this film came out, but now I'm like, you know what? I'm on board. I want to see where this goes. And it's got me excited for the rest of this universe because, as James Gunn has said, there's not going to be a cookie cutter way these films are made. Each film is going to be tonally different. Mm-hmm. When we get to the Clayface movie, that's not going to be, in the same vein as this film was. When we get to Wonder Woman, whenever that comes out, that's going to be different than this. I'm excited to see how this goes, and I'm excited to see what each director does with their project, and I'm excited for it.
Well, speaking of projects, I'm glad you brought that up because it was announced that there's tentative talk about doing a spinoff with Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen separately on different shows.
Yeah.
Listen, the Jimmy one could be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about Mr. Terrific. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, he stole the movie.
He's got a great new series out in comics right now, doing his year one. And he's always an interesting character no matter what team you see him on, whether it's the JSA or the JL Unlimited right now that he's a very focal member on. So, I think I personally would love to see that more than Jimmy Olsen.
Sure.
That's what I'm hoping for.
The Jimmy one I could understand, but I'd say you got to wait a little bit just to see where it goes.
Well, you have to kind of – the only thing is if you have a really good story.
Sure.
That's the thing. And we have seen that – under this regime, you can put together some good stories with some side characters.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Penguin. I mean, we're talking DC films, but still, I mean, 24 Emmy nominations?
Yeah, insane.
Yeah, so you can do it, you can pull it off. It just depends on what they want to do as far as the character goes. But I think Gunn is smart enough to know when's the right time to do this. And I think that if we're going to see a gap between Superman projects, this is when you'll see at least the Jimmy Olsen one come up.
Could be.
Mr. Terrific, you can kind of plug and play a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do think it's very vital to establish him, because I think whenever we get the eventual Justice League, whenever Incarnation is going to be showing up with us, he's going to be a big focal point of that. I fully believe that. It just depends on when they want to go rolling that out, because the only thing I know is that he's made some quotes, James Gunn, recently, that as soon as the Wonder Woman script is good and the Brave and the Bold Batman one is good, they're going into production immediately. Everything else is kind of like we're getting to it, but we haven't revealed. And we're going to kind of have to wait to see about the vibe with that. But I think, just to kind of wrap things up with this, Superman has left that big of an impression on the pop culture audience. And to win them back to DC in a universal statement. Like I say, I know the Snyderverse fans have mixed feelings about it. And listen, you're entitled to have those.
Yeah.
But I think for the general purpose, this nailed the points that it needed to, and it could not have came at a better time.
Agreed.
So that said, hit us up on that hashtag ODPH pod. Superman is in theaters right now. If you've seen it, let's talk about it. Did you love it? Did you hate it? And why? Let's have those discussions. And where do you think the DC Studios universe goes from here? That's the really fun conversations. I got some thoughts. So hit us up. Let us know. We're going to get a breakout. We'll be right back.
Do you like comic books?
What about movies and TV shows?
Well, we may be the show for you.
We're Hops Geek News, a weekly podcast that discusses comics, movies, and TV shows while featuring a beer of the week.
Every week we chat about what we messed up on the week before, and then we dive into what we're reading and watching, as well as some news.
We then wrap it up with a geek-themed topic of the week.
You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts by searching Hops Geek News.
Cheers.
The content you are listening to is part of the Nerd Initiative Podcast Network. For more info about the home of pop culture positivity, be sure to check out nerdinitiative.com.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder, and you better listen to the ODPH podcast, or I'm coming for you, and Batman is coming for you.
Coming back for the final segment on this edition of the ODPH podcast. Pad, what you got?
Got a couple things to talk about, first of which is some sports, and looking at the standings for the Eastern League Division of AA Baseball, where our Binghamton Rumble Ponies play. Still in first place.
Let's ride.
They are in first place with a record of 57-28. The Somerset Patriots, the Yankees affiliate, are in second place. They're 11 games back. The Hartford Yard Goats, the Colorado Rockies affiliates, are in third place. They are 12 games back. The Portland Sea Dogs, the Boston Red Sox affiliates, are in fourth place. They are 16 games back. You got the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, the Toronto Blue Jays affiliate, are 23 games back. And the Reading Fightin' Phils, well, you're still in last place, 24 games back. Looking at the schedule from this past week, they were at home against the Altoona Curve. They had a game on Tuesday where they won, no small feat, 16-3.
Jesus.
Yeah. They came back on Wednesday, won that one 3-0. Won on Thursday by the final score of 2-1. Won on Friday 6-3. Lost on Saturday 4-1, and lost on Sunday 7-5. They're off for most of this week, All-Star break and all that festivities and fun, but they do play this upcoming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the road in New Hampshire. So the Friday they're playing at 6:35 p.m. Eastern. Saturday is at 6:35 p.m. Eastern as well. The Sunday game is at 1:35 p.m. Eastern. They're off the following week. They do not return home for a home series until the end of July, starting on the 29th. So for more tickets, information, all that good stuff, bingrp.com. Then we're going to talk a little bit more baseball, the professional, the major league side of things, and that is some Tampa Bay Rays news. A couple interesting things. Of course, they are playing their games this season at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. That is the minor league facility of the New York Yankees. It was brought up, and it was kind of wondering, well, hey, we got to come up with a contingency plan, what they're going to do if they make it into the postseason and they got to play some home games. It has been announced that they will play potential postseason games at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, which, of course, if things play out the right way or play out a certain way, we could get World Series games at a minor league stadium with a capacity of 10,046. So, not ideal. The discussion was brought up to potentially shift postseason games to Miami Marlins Lone Depot Park being considered, but ultimately, it was decided for them to stick with where they're currently playing for any potential postseason games. Then we got to mention that the Tampa Bay Rays are being sold, and that owner Stu Sternberg is selling the Tampa Bay Rays for small chump change, $1.7 billion.
So we should get the Patreon back, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. It is going to a group led by Florida-based developer Patrick Zalupski. He is the founder, chairman, and CEO of Dream Finders Homes. It's a Florida-based home builder. They went public the company went public in January of 2021. The gentleman, if the name might sound familiar to you Floridians, that is because, well, he owns that company, but he is also on the board of trustees at the University of Florida. So, hey, good for the Rays. Maybe now they'll have an owner that isn't such a penny pincher.
Well, we'll have to kind of wait to see. I wonder if the team will stay there, if they're going to move.
Early word is they will stay in Tampa.
Okay.
So, but we'll see. Then we got to talk a little bit of entertainment news, and I got to admit, I don't know how I feel about this. It was announced that the folks over at Netflix are working on a live-action adaptation of Solo Leveling. Our article on Variety.com does read, quote, "The series is based on the record-breaking webtoon that has amassed 14.3 billion cumulative views worldwide since its Kakao Page debut, where Solo Leveling has maintained its position as the platform's #1 web novel and webtoon. The property was originally a web novel written by Chungong in 2016 before it was developed as a web series written by H. Goon with art by Dubu, CEO of Redice Studio and DNC Webtoon, and released by Kakao Page in 2018. The property's recent anime adaptation made history as the first Korean animation to dominate the 2025 Crunchyroll Anime Awards by sweeping 9 major categories, including Anime of the Year, Best Action, and Best Character. So, close quote. So, I love the anime. Huge fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how I feel about live action, just because live action adaptation of anime is extremely hit or miss.
Yeah,
these
I was
days.
going to say.
So I will wait and see for a trailer.
I'm not rushing to see this one.
Yeah.
I'm just. I mean, if it's on, I'll take a gander. But
Sure.
but I'm going to say the anime is
Sure.
should stay normal. So UFC this weekend. I know there's a card going down. Just basically the main event is the only thing catching my eye here.
Pretty much.
And that
Holloway Poirier.
Yeah, Holloway Poirier 3. This is Dustin Poirier's last fight in the UFC, arguably ever. But I learned to say never
For your favorite title of all time.
Yeah, the BMF title. Granted, Max Holloway is defending it. This one, the main event will be fireworks. No question about that. I mean, Dan Ige and Patricio Putbill, that'll be a good one for the featherweight division.
Yeah.
Everything else, I'm gotta admit, I'm just not amped up for it.
Paulo Costa, Roman Kuplov, Kevin Holland taking on Daniel Rodriguez, and then Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber are the other main event fights, including the Ige Pitbull fight you mentioned.
Yeah, so as we're looking at this, I mean, the BMF title, Poirier going out.
Marvin Vettori's on the prelims.
Yeah, I mean,
what the heck?
I got a lot of questions about this card. I'm not gonna lie.
Where is this thing?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. It's at the Smoothie King Center.
Yeah. So
interesting.
They're literally sending Poirier off with a hometown fight.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So, and it will be interesting to see because I mean, Poirier just wants to go out when he's still healthy and still good. I mean, a record of 30-9. Yeah. Holloway 26-8. Both of them are going to leave it in the cage. This will not be a boring fight by any stretch of the imagination. But it is one that I am very intrigued by. Now, Holloway has moved up to 155 to fight. I don't like him at that weight class.
Yeah.
He's a very skinny 155 in comparison to others. But this is not going to be a ground and pound by any situation. They're going to stand and box. Like, this is going to be 5 rounds if it goes that far of just strikes. You're not going to see any kind of crazy takedowns or submissions. They're going to go want to put on the show.
Right.
But if Poirier wins, this is where I think maybe this isn't the end.
Maybe.
Well, the only reason I say this is Topuria is out there. And if they didn't want to give the fight to Gaethje for whatever reason, if you threw it to Poirier, that's a completely justifiable substitution here.
Yeah.
Granted, I think you'd have to really back up the Brinks truck for a payday.
Yeah.
But it's not out of the realm of thought. I'll say this. If I have to give a percentage on it, I'll say 25%.
Okay.
Not that I know anything exclusively, just my gut instinct that if he's offered one last title shot, win and vacate, And for the right amount of money, I think he'd do it.
Yeah.
But if not, listen, he gets to go out with a legendary career, certified Hall of Famer, no question about that.
Yeah.
Some of the bouts he's been in, you always knew that if you saw his name on a marquee, you're going to get a show.
Especially a couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, I mean he's somebody that you knew just left in the cage, and there's never been a boring Poirier fight.
No.
The only times I think it ever just got kind of a little off the rails a little bit was because of Connor.
Yeah.
And the amount of trash talk. And I will just say this week, avoid Twitter if you type it in for a search engine.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, search at your own risk.
Yep, just going to put that out there. So, that said, if I got to make a prediction about this, I think Poirier does take this. Like I said, I like him better at this weight class. I could see this is going to be 5 rounds of them just pounding the absolute you-know-what out of each other.
Yeah,
but
he's going to go split.
I could see this going split as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Poirier as well. By the way, speaking of ground and pound, I'm not going to get into it, but shout out Derek Lewis.
Yes.
If you know, you know. If you don't, look up the quote.
Oh, my God.
Derek Lewis, another great soundbite of a quote.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yep. And then
also, I will say Derek Lewis might be in that Chael Sonnen he can't go into Brazil level by now.
He's getting close.
Oh boy,
but
he talked a lot of ish.
Yeah, he did, but he backed it up. I mean,
he did.
30-second knockout of one of the big prospects they had in the heavyweight division.
Former prospects.
Yeah. And we'll close out this week talking about the WWE a little bit. Now, this was a wild weekend for pro wrestling in general.
22 hours of content over the weekend.
Yep, so salute to Rich over at 3FN and Wrestling Night Live. He braved it and watched it all. I was with him for a good majority of it.
Good grief.
I did not sit through all of All In on AEW, but I will say this. The main events were very solid.
That's good. I know in the UK they're re-airing on Channel 4 some point in the next couple days here.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you didn't get a chance to see it and you're in the UK, check your listings for Channel 4.
And I will say this. Obviously, Tony Khan and I are...
you're the best of friends.
We're BFFs.
Christmas cards each year.
Yep. I thought Tony made the right call with the booking for the three main events. I'm not going to take anything away from it, but if you want to hear more about AEW this weekend, I know Rich and Sammy are going to be talking about it on Wrestling Night Live, 8 p.m. Thursday night on Nerd Initiative YouTube. But we have a lot to go over, kind of a speed version for WWE because Great American Bash, Saturday night's main event, and Evolution all took place. So, Pat, let's start off with Great American Bash.
Yep, so Great American Bash, you had Javon Evans defeat Jasper Troy via pinfall in a singles match. It was a good opener.
Not mad about this. I mean, Jasper Troy is the winner of the first season of LFG.
Yep.
Legends of Future Greats. They're pushing him to the moon right now.
To the moon.
So I'm glad that he's taken some L's. Not because I don't like him, but I think too much too soon would be a problem.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
But I think for where he's on the card right now, good.
I did not watch LFG. I liked what I saw from this, though.
Yeah, he's good.
Next up was a singles match for the NXT Women's North American Championship where Sol Ruca defeated Izzy Dame via pinfall in 11 minutes and 43 seconds.
Surprised at this, but not mad about it.
No, made sense.
Sol Ruca's on fire right now.
Sol Ruca, MVP of the weekend, 3 matches in like 2 days.
Yeah, something crazy
Holy
like
cow.
that.
She had a match on Friday. She had a match on Saturday, and then she had 2 matches on Saturday.
Yeah.
The Saturday, and she was on Sunday. So 3 matches in 3 days. Good grief. Ethan Page defeated Ricky Saints via pinfall in a Falls Count Anywhere match for the NXT North American Championship. He kept his belt.
Absolutely wild match.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the chair Razor's Edge spot. No,
good God.
No, thank you.
Then Obafemi defeated Yoshiki Inamura via pinfall in a singles match for his NXT Championship in 13 minutes and 18 seconds.
Very solid match.
Uh-huh.
But Obafemi's on fire right now. You can't stop him.
Yeah, no kidding. And then your main event was the tag team match with Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe defeating Fatal Influence with JC Jane and Fallon Henley in 16 minutes 31 seconds. Well, like I said, they ain't going to have Blake Monroe losing her first match on WWE.
Yeah, I was going to say that was probably the safest lock of the weekend.
Yeah, no kidding.
But solid match, though, too.
Then you get to main event, which took place later that same day, where you had the opener. Randy Orton defeated Drew McIntyre via pinfall in 8 minutes and 26 seconds with some outer interference.
Yeah,
setting up for SummerSlam.
Well, they're setting up for the celebrity marquee matchup.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll, the music artist, has now been. I guess he's been training for a while now.
Dude has lost a crazy amount of weight and looks great.
Yeah, so he's teaming up with Randy Orton because Logan Paul interrupted the SmackDown in Nashville.
Yep.
Setting that up, so it's gonna be Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre versus Jelly Roll and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Which, listen, celebrity match. I'm not mad about this, to be honest with you. Yeah. So I like the setup here. Liked what was going on with this one.
Next up was the singles match for the WWE United States Championship with Solo Sikoa retaining his belt, defeating Jimmy Uso via pinfall in 10 minutes and 49 seconds.
A little messy with everybody.
But too many cooks.
Yeah,
too many cooks.
But you knew Solo was not going to lose this one right away, so I'm okay with this.
Then you had, probably the most talked about match of the entire weekend, and for all of the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
L.A. Knight
defeated
Seth freaking Rollins via pinfall in 11 minutes and 38 seconds, and this was obviously because there was an injury in the match. At one point, you had Rollins went to jump off the top rope on the far side of the ring from where the camera is, slipped, fell, came on the ground and went, well, whoops, I messed that up. Let me go try that again. So then he went on the other side of the ring, went to jump off the second ring, landed that, and then the leg immediately buckled. The ref stopped the match. LA Knight, I don't think, was fully aware of what was going on because he tried to get in there and attack, and the ref's like, no. The doctor came in, talked to him, and then they immediately came up with the end of that match, and that was LA Knight winning via pinfall.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate situation going on with Seth Rollins, and obviously we have not heard what the final verdict is on his knee, but we're wishing him a speedy and healthy recovery.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
it
definitely
was very clear from all parties involved. They were not thrilled about it.
Yeah, so recovery time for him, like we don't have a timetable on. We're just hoping it's quick and he's back.
Listen, Paul Heyman has said he has until June of next year.
Yeah, which, listen, they might hold on to that for the Money in the Bank briefcase. I would not be mad about that if they did.
I wouldn't either.
But we'll have to kind of see. But this did cause a problem, and I want to address this before you get into the main event.
Okay.
So, obviously, we knew the main event was Goldberg versus Gunther.
Yep.
And unfortunately, due to the injury at hand, there was a lot of time that needed to be given to this match.
Yep.
And I know there were some online complaints about this.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to put this out there. Listen, if you don't realize how good Gunther is, that he literally made chicken salad out of chicken shit with this,
yep,
you should be really questioning calling yourself a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
He made the best out of a bad situation, and he took somebody that should not be wrestling at this age.
Nope.
And gave him a match that, listen, the crowd was invested.
Yeah.
The fans at home were invested.
Yeah.
He literally made magic happen with this.
Gunther took on Goldberg, who is 58 and a half years old, has not had a match in over 3 years because his last match, I looked this up, was in March of 2022.
Yeah, because he blew his knee out walking.
Yep. Now, by no means am I shitting on Goldberg. Am I talking bad about him? Listen, he shouldn't be wrestling. He's almost 60 years old. He just doesn't have it like he used to. And let's face it, nobody does when they hit that point in their life. But Gunther did help lead Goldberg to his longest match anywhere since 2003. So that, hey, kudos to you. The match was better than I thought it was going to be.
Way better than I thought too.
But that was I set the bar so low, it wasn't hard to clear it. It was fine.
It was fine, but like we say, we have to include that in the breakdown.
Yeah.
This match should not have gone that long. I don't think it was planned on it.
No.
But this shows how good Gunther is.
Yep.
To make that happen.
Yep.
So we definitely have to give him his feather in his cap for that one.
Absolutely.
But then we get to the real main event of the weekend.
Oh, baby. And that was Evolution, the second iteration of this pay-per-view taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. Busy weekend in Atlanta.
Well, especially, too, this is an all-women's pay-per-view.
Yes, everyone, top to bottom, every participant in this match. Women.
Yes.
Fantastic pay-per-view. Opened up with the triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship where Becky Lynch retained her title via pinfall 16 minutes, 30 seconds.
One of the smoothest endings to a match. The backslide pin was it was magic.
I don't know how they came up with that, but kudos to you.
Yeah.
That was
flawless.
Tremendous.
Yeah, maybe it didn't hook like instantly, but enough that, listen, it didn't take anything away. Great ending to that.
Then you had the singles match for the NXT Women's Championship where JC Jane retained her belt against Jordan Grace via pinfall in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Well, her partnership with Blake Monroe was short-lived.
Well, they needed to. Blake is a natural heel.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, the fact that they were trying to portray her as like a Sabrina Carpenter, like happy.
I knew she was going to turn on Jordan. I just didn't figure it'd be this quick.
But you know what? I think they realized that what they got with her, and if you're going to keep Jordan down there a little bit longer, putting her in a program with Blake is a perfect thing to do, especially a great face versus a great heel.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Next up was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, and you have the Judgment Day with Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez retain their titles, winning via pinfall in 10 minutes and 50 seconds. This was good.
A lot better than expected.
Yeah.
Because I honestly thought this was going to be, in some weird sense, this was going to be a squash match for Charlotte and Alexa.
Yeah.
I'm happy they retained.
Yeah.
I like the false finish where Zarya wound up crushing Sol Ruca.
Jesus.
Listen, I'm okay with it. It's like everything they did in this match was great.
Yeah.
But more importantly, Raquel and Roxanne won.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this means anything with Liv Morgan, but
I think it's building a story with it.
They're building a story.
Because Raquel's warming up to her.
Well, she's warming up, but the longer they hold on to those belts, I have a feeling Liv may be coming back sooner than we all think.
Could be.
Just guessing.
Could be.
But still.
Then you had the singles match for the WWE Women's Championship where Tiffany Stratton defeated Trish Stratus via pinfall in 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Solid match. I mean, Trish is Hall of Fame legend.
Yeah.
And not a bad one for Tiffany. I think timing was off in a couple spots, but nothing crucial, though.
Then you had the No Holds Barred match where Jade Cargill defeated Naomi, winning via pinfall in 11 minutes and 10 seconds. And, of course, this one had the special guest referee of Bianca Belair.
Well, right call.
Yeah.
Jade, Jade, I still think is getting used to the WWE style, to put it lightly.
Could be.
Not the greatest of matches, but I'm not taking anything away. I mean, it's a No Holds Barred.
Yeah.
You know.
With as unhinged as Naomi has been portraying herself online, go look at her social media. Good Lord. I figured there'd be a little more insanity to this, where like we saw the photo of her buying tasers and some of the stuff she's purchased off Amazon. I went into this going, this is going to be the craziest no hold barred match I've ever seen, just because we don't know what Naomi's going to bring to this.
Yeah.
And then it kind of ended up being kind of stat quo for a no holds barred match.
Well, I think the ending to the main event played a factor, because I don't think they wanted to tip off too much.
True. Yeah, could be. Then you had the 20 women Evolution Battle Royal. Now, of course, this one, you earn a world championship match at the Clash in Paris coming here in the next couple of months. And emerging victorious, winning by eliminating Lash legend last, as a lot of people predicted, myself included, Stephanie Vaquer.
So, great main event, or great battle royal.
Yeah.
Top to bottom. Was a lot of cool spots.
I thought Nia Jax was single-handedly going to eliminate all of NXT early on. She was on that one. She was on the path.
She was on the path for it. And I'm just going to say this. I need to see Stephanie and Lash ran back.
Yo.
One-on-one.
For real. Like, they are already showing Lash Legend when she gets to the main roster. Not if, when is going to be a major player.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Holy cow.
I think she's poised to have a breakout year.
Uh-huh.
And listen, let her take on Steph. I'm all for this, because they put on some magic in that end.
Yeah.
And if you're going to keep using Lash in this moment, like, you need to let her have the win.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why you gave it to Vaquer, and that should be an interesting setup there.
Right.
But I wouldn't have been mad if they gave it to Lash too.
No, I wouldn't either.
So, but Lash is going to be on the main roster sooner than later.
$1 million.
Yeah.
Then you had the main event, which was originally going to be Io Sky taking on Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. And for the majority of this match, because this match ended up going 26 minutes and 20 seconds, early match of the year candidate for me.
Easily.
Holy cow. Like, it's the number one match I've seen that I can think of off the top of my head thus far. And then, of course, both competitors are down in the ring. Grueling match, knockout, drag down match. And then Naomi's music hit. Came down to the ring. And I got to say, I like we didn't have the is she, are they? You know, the whole back and forth, like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to cash in? No, immediate cashing in. I love that she waited until they rang the bell and made it a triple threat, and she smacked Io Sky across the face with the briefcase. Roll up win via pinfall to emerge victorious as your new Women's World Champion.
Well, this is match of the year for me. like I say, women's match of the year, hands down.
Uh-huh.
Rhea and Io have weird, amazing chemistry together.
They got something. I don't know what it is.
And they were pulling out all the stops. This was absolutely wild.
Yeah.
And then even the spot where Naomi comes down, and she missed the bell ringing.
Yep.
Because the crowd was that hot that she was down there.
Yeah.
But I liked how she did the quick finish. I like how they're setting things up.
Yeah, yeah.
It will be interesting to see what Stephanie McCure does with the title shot.
Because I don't think they specified who she has to go for. I think she gets her pick.
Well, I think she's taking Naomi because it's Raw and Raw.
Yeah.
The Raw belt.
Yeah.
Which I am surprised at because I thought that's why I was saying the Tiffany era. I thought they were going to try switching up a bit.
Yeah.
But now we'll have to see who's going to be going for her belt. I don't think they're going to run Trish back.
No, well, no, we know for SummerSlam it's going to be Jade Cargill because she won.
Oh, that's right.
She won Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, so they weren't going to mess with that.
No.
That's why I say like it was taken off Jade worries me a little bit winning though.
Sure.
That's the only thing because
Sure.
right now it's I just think that she's still learning the system, so
Yeah.
that's the only thing that kind of scares me a little bit. But nevertheless, Stephanie and Naomi will be a great match.
Yeah.
I hope Naomi's not transition champ.
No, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because they did set up on Monday Night Raw the night after Evolution that it's going to be a triple threat for that belt between Naomi, Rhea, and Io Sky at SummerSlam.
Yeah, then when is Clash in Paris then?
Clash in Paris is let's see, chronology. You got NXT Heatwave after SummerSlam. Clash in Paris is August 31st.
So it's after SummerSlam.
It's after SummerSlam.
Yeah, so they could still do that. Okay. I was just making sure it wasn't going to tip their hand about how
No,
everything was going to go.
for the main roster, it's SummerSlam and then Clash in Paris.
All right, well, you know what? We'll have to kind of wait to see how it plays out there, but I'm excited to see the direction we're going in.
Yeah.
A lot of great storylines heading into SummerSlam.
Two nights.
Yeah, they're going to have
Two
to.
nights. Well,
definitely...
so far we've only got 6 matches, so I'm going to have to build out the card a little bit more.
Oh, trust me, they'll do it, and they will do it in plenty of time that we won't have a AEW 15 matches added on Friday night.
Oh, please no.
You know, yeah, I was gonna say no. They Rich actually made a great comment too off air.
Yeah,
was saying about this card had 6 matches on it.
For Evolution, I think so. Yeah.
So 6 matches was. I know Triple H has been doing 5.
5 is around the sweet spot.
But yeah, I was gonna say 6.
This one had 7.
All right, 7. You know what? It did not feel long.
No, it didn't. Not at all.
So maybe they're gonna go more to this for the SummerSlam. I don't know, but we'll have to see. But until then, we got some programming to watch and see the build.
Yeah.
And then if you want even more pro wrestling talk, Wrestling Night Live every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on Nerd Initiative YouTube has got you. And then you never know, maybe a blog will pop up here and there.
Could be.
We'll have to see if there's ever such thing as a free moment. In the meantime, though, if you want to find out more about the Parlay Topics, ODPH Podcast is the place you got to go because that's it for this week. So for the one and only Padawan J.
Fuck the Astros.
I'm your host, Ken. Thank you, as always, for listening to the ODPH Podcast. We'll see you next time.